So let's talk about the game you enjoyed playing when you were younger. Hide and seek would definitely be the game that I used to enjoy a lot. And I guess it's also a game that is universally enjoyed by a lot of children even until today, although the rules can be slightly different. I used to enjoy this game with my neighborhood friends, or sometimes when my classmates came to visit me during the weekend, we could also play this. The reason, for one thing, is because everyone can be engaged in this game. For another, which is also quite important, I was only allowed to play this game with my friends at my home because kids can be noisy. So apart from this, I guess another reason why I enjoyed doing this was probably because I was rather good at it. You see, once I was the last person to be found and I hid myself in the closet. No surprise, but I actually covered myself with a large pile of clothes. And when someone approached me, even when they opened the closet and checked the clothes, they couldn't find me. So at that moment, I got this real sense of achievement and satisfaction. I need to hold my breath all the time and to make sure that I wouldn't make any kind of sounds. Maybe because I was quite short and slim at that time, or maybe because, I was smart. Anyways, this is a game that I enjoyed playing when I was young, and now when I think of it, I guess by playing hide and seek with my friends, it's actually a way to boost my creativity, because children would actually try their best to find a place that they believe would be suitable. Anyways, playing hide and seek with my friends definitely left me a very deep impression.
Today we're going to talk about describe a game that you played in your childhood. But anyways, we're going to talk about what the game is, when you played it, who you played it with, and how you felt about the game. Alright, so the game that I want to talk about is called Hide and Seek. I'm pretty sure that is a classic all around the world. It's very popular amongst kids, and it's pretty straightforward. It's a pretty simple game. It's just like what the name indicates. There's usually a couple of people hiding, and there's usually one or two people who are the seekers, and their mission is to find the people who are hiding. I'm sure that all of you have played it before. But anyways, I played it the most when I was in elementary school, and I would usually play it with all the neighboring kids. Since most of us went to the same school, we almost have the identical schedule. So every night after dinner, or after we were done with our homework, we would go downstairs and play hide and seek. And I remember this one particular time that I was so well hidden, they didn't manage to find me in like 30 minutes or so. So they started to get worried, and even the adults were out trying to look for me. And eventually I got really scared. I thought that they abandoned me, so I went out myself. And everyone was so relieved to see that I was still alive. They thought I was, abducted or something. But yeah, luckily nothing happened. It was a good time. As for how I felt about the game, I really liked it. It was probably one of my favorite things to do after dinner. It was really nerve-wracking to be the hider. You really don't want to be found, and there's so many places where you can hide, so you really need to be creative with it. And also, it's quite fun to be the seeker as well. You get such a big rush finding someone, everyone screaming and laughing. It was just a good time. I guess it's also a very nostalgic game for me. I believe it is like this for most people. Nowadays, luckily, I play this game too with one of my little brothers who's 7, and whenever I play it, it would remind me of the good old days, and it's always a good time. I love this game. I can't wait to play it again. So yeah, that's a game. Do you think boys and girls play different games? We're gonna keep it pretty PC today. So I don't really think so, because most games nowadays are quite gender neutral. For example, a lot of the computer games like Stardew Valley or Minecraft, is some of the biggest games ever. They're not really targeted towards a certain gender. And also a lot of the outdoor games as well, like hide and seek or football or basketball or whatnot, none of these are really gender specific. And on top of that, a lot of the traditionally gendered games are not that segregated anymore. For example, playing house, which is considered to be a pretty feminine game, and you would see a lot of boys doing it nowadays as well. Or for example, some shooting games like Fortnite or CSGO or things like that are traditionally considered to be like masculine game, but nowadays you would see a lot of girls in these games as well. So I think in general there's really no differences between boys and girls when it comes to games. So yeah.
And today I'm going to tell you about a new part 2 topic. Describe a game you enjoyed in your childhood. Alright, so the game I really enjoyed in my childhood, was hide and go seek. It's a very classic adult game, that's played with a lot of people. I was kind of crazy about it. It just brought me like the most excitement joy. So now let me tell you about how we played it. Well, actually I think, the rule has stayed the same like over the years. It's never changed. So one player is chosen as the seeker. So the seeker needs to close his or her eyes and count, while other players, are looking for the place to hide. Then the game starts. So the seeker needs to find out like all the players. The game continues, until all the players are found. So I think, that's pretty much the game is about. The rules simple, but it's brought us like so much fun. Well, I remember playing hide and go seek, with my childhood friends. We are in the same neighborhood. So at that time, in the early evening, we will get together, then would find some place to hide, in our yards, in the nearby parks, in the streets. Where some kids, had great imagination, they would find like really secret, creative hiding spots. For example, once a friend of mine just hid himself under the car. Can you believe that? That's so much fun. Well, I enjoyed the game so much, mainly for 2 reasons. To start with, it brought us like a sense of adventure, because it allowed us to explore our surroundings, to find out those hiding spots, and also it required us to use our best imagination, to figure out what's the best place to hide. That's so much fun. Well, apart from that, I really enjoyed the freedom of playing outside, bonding with my mates, and connecting with nature. So that's why I love the game. It's so much fun.